Okay, ladies and gentlemen, it's 5 after 12. At this time, I'm going to call the meeting to order. This is the meeting of the Town Center Committee. We're meeting in the Matthew Thornton Meeting Room on August 13th, 2021. I'll ask committee members to turn on their microphones so the little green light shows, and then you will be recorded for posterity by Nicholas LaValle, who is representing the media committee today. I've distributed the minutes and I've distributed the agenda for today. If anybody needs an extra agenda, I've got a couple extra to share. I will take the minutes for this meeting, and I will, first order of business will be the approval of the minutes for June 11th, which was our last regular meeting. I have discovered, because I tried it out, the under 4E, F, and G, the route to get on to the Facebook is not correct in the minutes. Nicholas has advised me that the proper way is to go facebook.com/Town Center Committee, and that will get you onto the minutes, onto the Town Center's report. I tried it just now and found that I don't remember my password to get onto Facebook, and I thought I had it in my cell phone, and I don't. So I presume this works because Nicholas knows what he's talking about, and I don't. So anyway, other than that, are there any other suggestions for corrections or changes to the minutes of June 11th? Bill, you look like you wanted to say something. No? Everybody happy? I'd entertain a motion then to approve these minutes as they are.
So moved.
Moved by Bill Cummings and seconded by Bill Wilkes. Cummings and Wilkes. All those in favor of the motion to approve the minutes as they are?
Aye.
Aye. Aye. Any opposed or abstaining? Everybody?
Abstain?
What?
I'll abstain.
You want to abstain?
Yeah. Nelson,
Yeah.
I have to abstain. I don't believe I was at that meeting.
That's correct. You weren't.
I was
Okay.
not.
Okay. Abstain. Dawn. And Matt. I should point out to everyone that Dawn is sitting in for Kyle today for the DPW. And so thanks for sitting in, Dawn. Appreciate it. The next order of business is the discussions of the status of our projects, ongoing projects, beginning with the Souhegan River Trail. I had some notes that Kyle sent me. Kyle is on vacation this week, so he was unable to attend. Don, do you want to give his report? Thank you.
So, through our consultant, we've extended our application for the Wetlands Bureau so that we can work on the boardwalk concept. And the deadline for resubmitting is October 5th. And he's hoping that they'll be able to submit before that time frame.
He's hoping.
Kyle is hoping that
Yeah.
it'll be submitted before that time.
Yeah. Oh, this is the consultant's got to do this. That's why it's not
The consultant is doing it, not
Okay.
us.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
He expects that the amended permit will be viewed favorably by DES as it incorporates their request for the boardwalk, limiting the impacts to the flood-prone wet meadow. Excuse me. Can't seem to talk today. The final draft narrative for the Section 106 MOE historical element proposed action tables for this project for review and comment through NHDHR and NHDOT were submitted back on June 23rd. Hopefully this will close out the historic reviews and requirements for the project. We haven't heard anything since that time.
Yeah. What is MOE?
You would ask me that.
Well, it's
Come on,
there.
Quick and snappy answer for this committee. Come
Yeah, I
on.
know.
In my parlance, it's maintenance of effort.
Uh-huh.
It has to do with special ed, so I don't think it,
No.
I think that's another,
It's not. I'll look it up, shall I? I'll get back to you on that.
thank you.
Once the historical wetlands permits have been resolved, all of the items then need to go through federal review through the NEPA process. So given the scrutiny that the project has been given at the state level, we're hoping that the NEPA review will be fairly straightforward, because we have been through so many hoops you have no idea.
Oh,
The
yes,
final
we do.
hurdle,
Sure we don't.
the final hurdle will be to figure out how to resolve the funding issues due to the increase of the boardwalk, constructing the boardwalk. And that's what I've got. That's where we're at.
Okay, questions for Dawn? It's certainly is sad to be taking this much time, and they've added to our cost by adding these new features that we didn't think was necessary. It's no longer a wetland, but they,
Well, it's
we
still a
can't-
wetland, but it's not, doesn't have the same
it doesn't have any water in it.
value that
Yeah.
it had. But it doesn't
no
make the
vernal
wetland go away.
pools with,
There's no vernal
Got it.
pools,
Nope.
no. It was a wetland when the dam was there. It was,
yeah.
that was why. And when the dam went out, the water level dropped 6-7 feet,
Right.
where we're
But
talking.
the soils still, they still act and conduct the same way as a wetland would. It doesn't hold the flood storage back, so it has a different use, so to speak, or different function. But it is still, it is a wetland area. It will probably always be, because it's taking all of the water from the hill coming down, and that's where it gets filtered, is in that area. And the soils are the ones that indicate the wetland in this particular, soils and hydrology.
Well, will it not,
plants.
will it not eventually go back to forest?
It might go back to forest, but then it will become forested wetland.
Forested
It's
wetland.
not, it will take a very, very long time, if ever, that land area would not be a wetland.
Okay,
So it's just, it's changed its function and its use,
okay.
but and it's still, it's impacting the Woodbury Street project. That's why we have,
Yes.
we're working on that one.
Yes, you're gonna do, you can, if anybody has any more questions on that one, we'll turn to the Woodbury Street project, and you can tell us where we are with that.
Well, I won't even read from his briefing here, because I've done a lot more since he wrote that briefing,
Good,
and I'm the one that's doing it, so.
yeah.
I have completed the plans, and I actually met with Matt yesterday on the project. and
Yes,
showing
out in the cool fall-like day.
Favorite weather, huh?
So one of my questions to Matt was the possibility of closing down Woodbury Street, or closing it from 9 to 2, something of that. So there's a couple different options, and we'll work that out and discuss that. We need to close it at some point in order to take the trees down that are between Woodbury Street and the upper part of your parking lot for the
Right.
SAU. That
Yeah.
area, we're taking out the trees for a couple 100 feet. So there are trees in there that we're gonna need to have Woodbury Street, and to keep people safe, we're gonna need to close that section while they're taking down those trees at least.
Yeah,
We will still provide pedestrian safe access probably on the other side of the road, during the whole
Mhm.
thing. But those are items that we need to work out, but I've done the plans, and they have kept growing, as normal. So besides doing the sidewalk down the south side of Woodbury Street, we're also addressing some of the drainage issues that were coming in from the old drainage system that comes down McElwain and then turns down Woodbury Street. We've never been able to find that outlet, and we're going to now make a new outlet and a proper erosion control and treatment of that stormwater before it then gets to this wetland area that we were just discussing before, because that's where it goes.
Is it piped underground, or is it just in the ditch?
It will be piped, yes. So it's piped underground, it'll come out, we'll treat it, it will then get piped again across the street and then down into the bigger wetland. So we've added some drainage features to the sidewalk project, because now is the time to do that rather than ripping up the road again. The other part of that project is we are widening the east end, the end towards Daniel Webster. When you turn on from Daniel Webster, the road really narrows up and it comes into about 18 feet or so. So we're going to widen the whole road out to 24 feet, because up above, that's what it is. So
This is Woodbury Street.
Woodbury Street.
Yeah.
So there's a small section on Woodbury Street we will widen as part of the sidewalk project to better accommodate the traffic.
Is this gonna affect, I'm sure it's gonna affect the cost, but is it gonna affect the timing at all of this, of doing the sidewalk project? I mean, are these funds available to do all the different things you just described?
I'm pulling from every fund I can possibly, so we have the sidewalk funds. And then my estimate's a little bit over, at this point, a little bit over that amount. I then have all the extra drainage I'm keeping separate, and I have a separate drainage fund that I can pull from. And then the paving part, because we will pave the whole thing, do an overlay, an inch or an inch and a half over the whole road when we're all done, so it'll look nice and new, and it'll be much better. And that's from a different set of funds. So with the 3 different pots of money, we're hoping to be able to fill all of it, fill the project, and we'll see once the bids come in. I've got the bid documents just about ready to go out. I'm doing the last review right now. I was hoping to get them to Xenia this afternoon. If I can.
Get them to where this afternoon?
The finance department, because they're the
Oh,
ones that
okay.
send it out. They post it, and they do public notices.
Uh-huh.
So it'll be put out, if I can't make this afternoon, then it will be Monday. Monday morning, we'll get it out. So out to bid. As far as the wetlands application, which I have sent in, I had a response back on Thursday, and they had 2 questions, one of which was whether or not Matt was able to sign for the school. So, yes.
Yes.
Good.
And the second one was they wanted to have a clearer definition of what we were doing for temporary erosion control, which is now on my construction set of plans. It was not on the original set when I had submitted to them. So I have that, and I'm just send that off to them.
Yeah.
So hopefully within the next couple of weeks, I should have the wetlands permit back
Okay,
without
Yeah.
a whole lot of to-do.
yeah. Is the tree cutting, is that part of the bid package, or is
Yes.
that something we're
No.
gonna do in-house?
It's all, in order to put that sidewalk in, we need to fill
Yeah,
that area.
yeah,
And that then changes some of the drainage that's coming down in there, because there's a pipe coming in, but it's, of course, in the wrong spot. So we've
Yeah.
got to move that over. And then in order to do that, then we need to cut into the banking, because there isn't that much room up at the top. There isn't that much room, because it comes more, I wouldn't say to a T, but
yeah,
it comes to a point up there, and then it widens out as you go down the hill. So there's a point down in that area where, we'll stop and we won't do any more tree cutting.
yeah.
But that section, we need to cut all the way back up, almost up to the parking lot or the driveway up there, and it's a fairly steep, it's a 2-to-1 slope in
Yeah.
one section of it.
Yeah.
One section, tried to hold 3-to-1 or 4-to-1 up at the very top, but there's a section that will end up 2-to-1, so it'll blend in with that really steep slope. If you look as you're going up, it'll look just the same as you come around.
Yeah.
But in order to get that sidewalk in, what it does is it pushes all of the contours out further.
Yeah,
And that, it brings it all the way up to that, and as soon as I could get away from that, believe me, I did. And didn't get into the real steep 2-to-1 slope by not touching that at all.
yeah.
So it's the other,
I was just wondering if all of that was going to be subcontracted, or whether you're gonna do some of it with force account, with the in-house.
no, it's all part of the project, so it's all spelled out in
Okay,
the
yeah,
documents.
it's in
What they
those
have to do.
documents.
Whether they use subcontractors for that,
Yeah,
that's up to them.
yeah,
But that'll
understand,
be reflected in their bid.
yeah. Okay. Other questions for Dawn on the Woodbury Street project? Well, I'm delighted to hear that it's going out to bid. Now all we gotta do is get,
So I believe I put a September 9th date down for the bids to come back in,
yeah, okay,
if that
Okay.
helps you any. So after that, I believe I put a substantial completion date of December 1st. And they will not be able, since this is so far into the season because of the wetlands application, I put it, the final completion by June 1st, because they won't have time to seed. They could have everything in place, so substantially, they'll have everything there. But in December 1st, you're not gonna be able to plant anything. So
Yeah.
they'll do that for
yeah, the
the
lions, yeah,
spring.
yeah.
So I extended it just a little bit, just so that we can make sure that there is good growth on that.
Yeah,
And it's all supposed to be matted, and it's got a lot of stipulations in there for that.
yeah.
Is that just with the
Okay.
binder coat at that point, or, and will they put the finish on in the spring, or are you
It's a
thinking?
possibility, but I'd like to see the final on that. And that's why I put the December 3rd, because the plants typically shut down, pavement plants typically shut down about that time of year, and I really don't wanna be paving anything beyond that. So substantially complete in my mind would be final coat, but I'm talking about the loaming and the seeding on the sides would be, next spring probably. Or they could get the loam down, but they wouldn't get the seed or growth in there that we'd be looking for.
Yeah. Okay, well, it sounds like progress. I just hope we can do this. I hope we can pull it off, but,
I hope so.
yeah. Other questions for Dawn on these projects? No? Okay, thank you, Dawn. Thanks for filling in for Kyle, and thanks for the good news that we're actually almost ready to go out to bid. Thank you. Next item on our agenda is the high school master plan.
Mhm.
Is that still alive, or?
That is still alive, due to all the efforts we spent last year on COVID-related issues and whatnot. We didn't have a chance to even really kind of kickstart that thing at all.
Yeah.
We have, like I said before, we've signed a contract with Steve Keach. We did it before the end of June, and we've encumbered those monies from last year's budget to this year's budget. So this is gonna be, Steve and I are meeting Friday, and so we're gonna start the process. We have a school district planning and building committee.
Mhm.
I've spoken with them. I want them, before I bring Steve to them, to create a list, just a list of wants and needs and desires and issues, just whatever. Just put it on a page so we have some place to start with right now. But it's going to be beginning in earnest very shortly.
Well, that's good news.
Yes.
Yeah,
So, yeah, it was just not conducive to even having any kind of public meetings, forums, whatever, even over Zoom. I
Yeah.
need people to see, any kind of plans we come up with and give feedback and everything like that. We need face-to-face time.
yeah.
And that's what it takes. So Steve and we're meeting on Friday for another issue, and we're gonna talk about this issue also. So we're gonna,
On Friday, this coming,
next Friday,
next Friday, okay.
because today's Friday, right?
Yes, it
Oh,
is.
thank
I just
God.
Friday
was,
the 20th.
The 20th, yeah, it's going by fast.
yeah. Okay, is there anything, are you sitting in on this, on these meetings, on these discussions?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so you can fairly well represent
Yes.
our committee on that. As far as
Absolutely.
our desire, which is really the sidewalk.
The sidewalk piece.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's
yeah.
the main, that's one of the main components. Then we want to look at parking.
Yeah.
We may put in a few more parking lots there, just
Yeah.
to accommodate folk who would go to a baseball game and then park in that dirt area, which is not going to be accessible because there's going to be a sidewalk there now.
Yeah,
So that's probably, and we looked at that 15 years ago.
yeah,
I have a PDF on my computer that shows 2 extra parking lots over there across the street from the back parking lot at at Master Cole Elementary School.
yeah.
There's 100 spaces over in that area that were drawn out
Where did they?
underneath the telephone poles, under there.
Underneath the telephone poles.
Right across the street from the back parking lot
Where the
on
skate
O'Gara.
park was, kinda where the skate park was.
Up from that,
Up being toward the school.
towards the
from that.
school, yes.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay, there's a ledge in there.
There is.
Yeah,
We had, a couple of years ago, we had CSSI go bang around a little bit over there, and it doesn't seem the type of ledge that a big excavator with a hammer drill couldn't knock out. It's not
Yeah.
the kind they're gonna have to bore holes and,
yeah.
do that fun stuff, so.
Okay. Okay, well, Matt, thank you. That keep us up to date
Oh, yeah,
on that.
definitely,
And
definitely.
any questions for Matt, from the committee, and where that's going? All right, well, do you have a time frame that you're working with Keach on, as far as maybe by the end of the year, before the town meetings and that sort of thing?
Yeah, I'd like to get something presented probably maybe in the December timeframe before
Mhm.
then.
Yeah,
So if there's a potential budget impact that we want to do, or we may come out with a preliminary that makes a recommendation that this needs to be your first step, so this is something for planning purposes.
yeah,
So it may be like kind of phased in, and then this is your ultimate design, but
yeah,
there should be, because we want to do the sidewalk, and we want to put it in the budget, and if it's not in the plan, then it's not going to get in the budget, so I'd
Yeah.
rather, that's the goal.
yeah.
Right.
Okay, good. Good, thank you. Questions from anyone? No? Okay. Well, we had a plan in our minds anyway of videotaping some of the work on Woodbury Street. And so, Dawn, as we move forward with getting a contractor in place, we, through Nicholas, wanted to get some video of the construction of the sidewalk. Perhaps a couple shots beforehand, and then you're smiling. Is
This was
that
a side conversation with Matt.
Yes,
you did? Huh?
we can just do this between the two of us.
Yeah, we were just having a side conversation.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Anyway, we wanted to get some video of the project as it moved along. And so we will need sort of the contractor's schedule when the contractor gets himself in line.
Good luck with that.
Pardon?
So good luck with that.
Oh,
I don't think you have to be worried about being hot out there when you're doing the videoing.
no, in fact, maybe mittens will.
So I
Right.
will tell you, the roundabout is a good example. I'm doing weekly, I'm taking it 1 week at a time,
Yeah,
because things change so fast that, I mean, the schedule we had is gone.
yeah,
And that's more because of the utilities that are overhead than anything
Yeah,
else.
yeah.
And also underground.
yeah.
It was amazing what's at that one little triangle.
I I remember seeing all that blue paint all over the
Yeah.
road and everything. I
Yeah,
was wondering
blue
what
and
was
pink
under
and
there.
red and yellow and
Yeah,
yes, green.
yeah.
Yes, what I've done for that is I've set up an email, and I put it on Facebook, and I do, the webpage, town
Mhm.
webpage. So every Thursday or Friday, depending upon my schedule, I post what's happened this week and what's anticipated to happen next week.
Uh-huh,
Everything can change, especially in the fall
yeah.
with weather.
Yeah, I know, you get a rainy
So,
day and everything.
This way it
yeah.
gives you a week by week, and if you need to know what's happening, what I do is I try to keep as many people on this, email chain.
Yeah,
And you're all BCC'd, so nobody knows who the others are. I'm the only one that knows who's on that list. And I try to do as many town officials that wanna know, and I do a brief update, and I do more on the email than I put on the website or the
Yeah.
Facebook page, because there isn't the room. But
Yeah.
I will go into more detail on the emails, so if you want me to set up something like that during this, and then you'd be up to date,
I'd like to
No.
be kept up to date, and I'm sure Nicholas would.
Yeah, I think what Nelson was speaking to was specifically the Woodbury project, though.
Yes.
That's what I mean.
Oh,
For
okay.
the Woodbury I would be willing to set up something similar that I did to Roundabout, because it seems to be answering a lot of people's questions.
Sure, I think what Nelson's talking to specifically, though, is as a means to follow up the Woodbury video that already exists.
Mhm.
So if you could just keep me posted of the progress in terms of landing a contractor, then we can schedule,
Yeah, you can schedule yourself around it, what you see.
yeah.
And that's what I do, instead of just emailing you, trying to remember, once, I send out a weekly update to whoever wants to know.
Okay.
And I send that out, and then you can make your determination, is next week gonna be something that is worth
Okay.
going and looking at
Gotcha.
or not? And it might or might not happen on that particular day, and then you could call me and say, is this gonna happen? And
Okay.
I'll-
So what you're saying is if you're gonna develop something similar for Woodbury as you have the
For the
the
roundabout.
roundabout, okay,
It
because I
seems
was gonna
to-
talk about the roundabout, when we get to this portion of the agenda, I was gonna mention something about the roundabout as well, so.
Okay.
So yes, I'll
if-
set up something.
So
for you.
if you could set him up, and I'd like to know too, just for information, if he's gonna be out there. But I don't know if any of the other, if it's not any more difficult to add members of the committee, if they'd like to be on that distribution, is that,
No, what
You
I
could
can,
pretty much post it right on the town center Facebook page, couldn't you? Just
I
to-
usually do it on,
he doesn't, yeah.
on the DPW Facebook page, because I have authority on that one. So-
Right, and how you want people how you want this information to be seen by those who follow the town center committee may be drastically different from how information's seen from those who follow the DPW page, or, a counselor or a employee may get that information in an email. So that's just something to think about.
So I'll let you know, and you can.
Okay, and we'll
Just
add anybody that,
Anybody can
that-
just send me an
yeah,
email,
okay,
and I'll
okay,
add you to that list when we're ready to do that.
that's great.
'Cause
Yeah,
that's-
personally, I love getting the emails.
Yeah, I've
kinda
got
like-
Matt on the list.
Morning coffee, an email from Dawn, it's perfect.
What more?
Well, they're so
Your
detailed,
day is made.
Yes,
Yeah.
Like I
absolutely.
said, I don't put as much out on the Facebook page, because I don't have as much room to do
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
But in the email, I
Yeah,
do put
yeah.
more information. If I feel something's interesting to me, I figure maybe it's interesting to
Yeah.
somebody else. And
Yeah.
not everybody understands all of the detail that goes behind just moving this line,
Yeah.
just
Yeah.
doing this. It's
Yeah.
just, well, it's not a just.
Yes.
That's a true statement.
Okay, thank you, Dawn. Any other comments on that from anybody? That's going to be. So our next item then on the agenda is the status of the Facebook TCC I did mention that I tried to get on there and forgot my password for Facebook, but is there anything new happened there, Nicholas?
There's nothing too new or exciting. Again, to access the Facebook page, all you have to do is go facebook.com/towncentercommittee, and it'll bring you right there. And
If you have, but you need your own password.
you don't necessarily need a password, no.
I
It's going to
couldn't get
prompt
on.
you to log in, assuming that you do have a password, but you don't necessarily have to have an account to access it.
Which is my issue. I don't have an account. I
Yeah.
carefully avoid having an account. So, so my question is,
Nicholas too.
I haven't even tried to get on because I don't have an account. But you're saying that Facebook.com Town Center Committee should get me.
Yeah, yes.
Well, I just tried it and it didn't work, so,
Well, the other thing, I mean, that's an issue probably offline, but the other thing about Facebook is, once you're into Facebook, you can go into the search, and you
Yeah.
can just search Merrimack Town Center, and it'll pop right up.
Yeah.
Or Merrimack
Yeah.
DW or whatever, and it'll pop right up.
I just typed in facebook.com/towncentercommittee. It brought me there. It's the same as going to facebook.com/Merrimack TV. It's the same. I'm not
well,
sure
I'll
what.
try it again.
Yeah.
It said I couldn't come on.
Were you in Google?
Yes,
Should work.
it started in Google.
I just got on.
Yeah?
Mhm.
All right, I'll try again.
I've never been there, so yes, I
Yeah.
just got on.
All right.
I'm not logged into Facebook.
Yeah, I wasn't logged in. So you can see it, but you can't do any administrative type work on it.
Yeah, no, all I wanted to do.
I'm not logged into Facebook right now, and if I go to facebook.com/Town Center Committee, it brings me there. It's right there.
You came in through Firefox.
I can do it in
Any-
Safari, I can do any web browser.
Any web
Yeah,
browser.
I tried
Typing this in Google?
Google.
Yeah, you wanna type that into, where you type google.com, you wanna just put that in the URL.
No, but I didn't put in Town Center, Merrimack Town Center. So I'm gonna do that.
It's backslash.
Don't forget the backslash.
Let's try.
Oh, now my assistant wants me.
So,
Do you have grandchildren, Nelson?
Yes.
Maybe you should go visit.
Yeah, I know, he's in New York.
yeah, if you're already in Facebook, you, like, Bill said, you could also just type in Merrimack Town Center Committee, and it's bound to pop up for you. So-
Okay, I'll experiment with it more. I don't want to tie up this committee
Sure.
with my ignorance, but
No, it's
Is any-
okay. It's okay.
It's all good.
it's all good.
It's all good.
Okay. All
That's
right.
what it is, Nelson.
Well, Karen is still trying.
Yeah,
here,
and I'm almost there. I just wanna, I'm doing
Well, I
it
get to
carefully.
Almost
But
there.
if you don't have a Facebook account, I mean, you could see that information, but it's not like it's going to be a heck of a lot of use to you. You can't
Got it.
actively participate or share a post or
I
comment.
mean,
so-
to go beyond this login issue,
I got it.
I mean,
Yeah?
I get notifications about the town center, I don't wanna say daily, but, several notifications per week. I don't know if you do, Bill?
Yep.
I mean, so there is activity on the site and
Yeah,
everything.
there's definitely people liking posts, sharing posts, and that's good. And so we know they're watching the content that is on there. What I'm interested in doing is creating some more content for that page. I'd love to do a video about the Souhegan River Trail. We did do the video about about Woodbury Street. We'll definitely do a follow-up. Having that information from Kyle or Don, it will be great. When I was speaking about the roundabout a few minutes ago,
Yeah.
when Dawn was talking about her item, we did make a video, Media Division did make a video about the progress and about the roundabout itself. And one of the lines that Kyle used in the video, or if it wasn't Kyle, it was Colin said it during the voiceover, that it is kind of the entryway to the town center. And I thought about sharing that video to the town center committee page as well, but I had posted it to the Merrimack TV page and the DPW page as well, so I didn't feel like, I wasn't quite sure if, and the police department page, so I wasn't quite sure if we should also include that on the town center. I'm fine with doing that if the committee thinks it's a good idea.
It's really out of our turf.
What about Chuck Mower's presentation he gave to the Rotary Club?
I can share that.
That would be a town center.
It is, yeah.
That would be a
I can share, I'll share that this afternoon, because that's a great video. I was on vacation last week when Justin shot that. That was, in Chuck Mower's capacity as a member of the 275th Anniversary Committee. He presented to the Rotary Club. Really, the Rotary Club was just his audience. So it wasn't, the way you look at it, it wasn't just a Rotary event. It was,
No.
they were the audience.
He was
And
just speaking on the project.
and Justin did a great job of shooting that video. The audio is great in that, and we shared that, and seems to be getting a lot of activity on the Merrimack TV Facebook page. So I'll go ahead and share that today as well.
Yeah, I'd like
Um,
to see that.
And any information I can get about the Souhegan River Trail, or maybe I could find some of that stuff online. But if we could do a video on that, since that's part of the town center. Although, I think the last meeting we spoke about this a bit, because I think you had mentioned that some of that trail is actually on private property.
No.
Was that the Patterson piece? I thought that was resolved a
Oh,
long
that's all
time ago.
been resolved, yeah.
Okay.
It's
Is-
on town, the Watson Park comes underneath the Route
Route
3,
three.
Daniel Webster, comes through the head gates, and then goes across the impoundment area, which is the wetlands area we were just talking about, and ties into the existing trail that's goes along the Souhegan, just at the toe of the slope from the high school. So it goes all the way down, it goes all the way up to the FE area. I've got all kinds of, I don't know what you're looking for,
Okay.
but
And that's a maintained trail, recreational use,
as
residents.
far as the one at high school, I believe it's,
At the high school
Yes.
end, it goes from you can go from the high school all the way to Wildcat Falls.
Oh,
Well,
okay.
you can't anymore, because didn't they close that footbridge?
Okay,
No,
that's the,
you can on that
The high
side.
school's on the side where the trail is. There's a trail from the high school that goes to Wildcat Falls.
You can't go across to the
Thought you-
Chamberlain, east or west Chamberlain.
Yeah, I thought you couldn't go underneath over the highway or underneath, or however that worked.
You can go underneath the FE
Underneath.
Everett
Go underneath
on
that.
both sides, but you can't cross over the river.
Okay.
There's two trails on each side of the,
okay.
underneath the bridge, there's two trails underneath on both sides
Yep.
of the river. But the bridge connecting those two is what's out, so you can't connect from the north side of the river to the south side of the river.
Okay, I gotcha. I'm confused on that, or was confused.
Yeah.
I thought it was that bridge that they put, when they redid the bridge to widen the road and everything, and they put the footbridge underneath there.
That's what
Yes,
she's talking
It
about.
is the footbridge, yes.
That's closed or
That's
open?
closed.
That's closed.
Just the bridge itself is closed.
So how do you get across the highway?
You go under the highway.
You go under. It's a big bridge. You walk under.
The highway bridge is way above you. When you're on that trail, you're down halfway to the river.
The easiest way to get there is if you come to the end of West Chamberlain Street,
Mm-hmm.
and you can walk down, it's parallel with FE Everett, you walk down to the river, that's the shortest route to get there, and then you can see the whole thing right from there. But
Or you can walk from the high school too.
You can walk, it's a little bit longer, but yeah,
Yeah,
if you wanted a shorter, it depends what kind of walk, you can walk
Yeah.
from Wildcat Falls all the way over if you wanted.
if you wanted to go to Wildcat Falls, the best way is through the high school, because the other side, you're getting into private
Private,
property.
yeah.
There's people who own right down to the river, yeah.
Anyway, yeah.
Okay.
But yes, there's a trail underneath the FE Everett, there's a trail on both sides of the river.
Okay.
just, we don't have that connectivity between them anymore. We're working on it. Don't
10
hold your
years
breath,
from now.
though.
10 years from now, if we live long enough.
If there was anything that the committee felt that residents should know about the town center itself, what would that be? Like, if you wanted to, do we want to create maybe an overview of where exactly Merrimack's town center is?
Well, there's the whole ITRAC study. I mean, we're empowered by the ITRAC study, and the ITRAC study did a map of the town center, and it's got everything on it that we're trying to do.
And that's the map that I used as a cover photo.
Yeah.
So I guess what I'm asking is, if maybe that would be a good piece of content, a video exactly where these locations are, what makes up the town center.
I'm not sure what you're asking.
I think I'm making a suggestion.
I mean, the other thing, and maybe I'm not being kind to a lot of people, but I'm not even sure people understand, like, the current connectivity, like, hey, you can park your car at Buckley's or Canals or whatever, and you have a network of sidewalks and ways to go
Right.
to Watson Park, over to, like, the town offices here, like,
So maybe
I
that,
don't know, that, I mean, it's not an obvious town that we have the ability to walk around.
right.
Yeah. I
I mean, if you go to, like, I don't know, I go to Keene a lot. If you go to Keene, there's sidewalks everywhere. And everybody knows, they park their car, they walk up
Right.
and down Main Street, they walk some of the back streets behind the Main Street. But
Well,
it's
and
not too obvious to me in Merrimack that people even understand. You could actually park your car and you could walk safely to different things around town.
Right.
And I mean, that's been like one of the big objectives of this whole committee.
So would that be helpful to create a video that shows exactly what makes up the town center and where these walkable locations are within, and like what that network is?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, it would.
I'm just kind of spitballing right now.
Yeah.
that's
No,
that's what I was
think
doing.
that-
I was
think that
kind
would
of
be
putting it
good.
out there.
Yeah?
Yeah.
What would this committee like to better inform residents about?
You can go to the library, you can go to the town offices, you can go to some restaurants, you can go down to shopping, you
Yeah.
can go to Buckley's.
Police and fire.
Because where we're at is we did the sidewalk video with
Schools,
Woodbury.
for instance, yeah.
Schools, yeah.
Yeah, we did the sidewalk video at Woodbury. If there's gonna be more progress on that, then fantastic. Once there's more progress, we'll update that video. Maybe instead of the Souhegan, doing something about the Souhegan River Trail itself, we'll just include that in a more all-encompassing video about what Bill just mentioned. Maybe that's something that should be put on my plate next.
Yeah, that would be good, like to show that you can go through the trails and
What
And-
is
and
the town center?
you can go to.
Right, exactly.
You can go, personally, I walked down to Twin Bridge for the first time, and I've been here since 1986. I did it an hour ago.
Yeah.
I've been here a long time. Because I wanted to see where this covered bridge was
Yeah.
gonna
Yeah.
go.
Yeah.
Or
I
I think
did-
I found the site, but maybe not.
And I've done similar I live in Manchester, and I bought my house in Manchester 9 years ago. I'm on the east side, and I had no idea about the rail trail system that we have in Manchester. I'm at this point, an avid hiker. I just started mountain biking, and up until about 2 years ago, I had no idea that this trail existed. And I had been in the neighborhood for about 7 years. And now I have access. I can hop on my bike or walk from the rail trail from the east side of Manchester on Mammoth Road all the way out to Babusik, and I can keep going as far as Auburn if I wanted to. But there's nothing from the city that informed me about that. It was sort of a happy accident. I kind of stumbled on it, and then I did some research. So anything we can do for Merrimack residents in terms of the town center and establishing trails or this network of sidewalks or ways to get around the town center and all these different recreational areas, like you said, Twin Bridges and Wildcat Falls, the Souhegan River Trail. So if we did a video all encompassing on all the different sections of the town center, maybe, that's something we can work on.
It would be good. It would be good, and I think it's part of, had been trying to reach out to people at these different events. It's something we'll talk about later, whether we want to start that up again or not. But we had a booth, if you will, at several events, among them being the winter carnival and at the farmers markets and that sort of thing. And we would show our maps and show people, and everybody that bothered to stop got excited about what we had to show them. And, they didn't know, mostly people did not know
Right.
where was the town center and what are you trying to do about it. And it's gotten to be sort of old hat maybe because we've talked about it for so long and accomplished so little.
I think if we can drive people towards the Facebook, we'll get a bigger audience
Yeah,
than we get at
Yeah,
those
and-
type of things. And
Yeah, sure. And
it'd be a lot more efficient.
right now we have, just about 400 people either following or liking the page. And then we have an even bigger audience through Merrimack TV and obviously the Department of Public Works. And I also have access to the Parks and Rec Facebook page as well. So, but anything we can do to, create content to keep residents informed or let them in on things that they don't know about. Maybe that's even a bigger project could be all of these things throughout town that people just may not know of.
Can you, a little bit off topic, but probably not, can you scroll on the bottom of the Merrimack TV,
Yes.
like a public service message that says, hey, have you ever visited the town center site on Facebook?
Yeah, we can put that up there.
I mean, just to
Yeah.
try to get more people looking at the town center?
Yeah, we
I
can do
mean-
that. I can put up a bulletin. We can put up a bulletin or a scroll, sure.
So the Conservation Commission, they used to have a map,
Mm-hmm.
or have some maps, of their trails and trail system. So they would be a resource to be able to get some of the mapping so that you can say, okay, from this part of town center, we can connect to this part of, conservation trail the trails, that type of thing. I also, for my last TAP grant that I just submitted, I did that connectivity that you're talking about that we used on the sidewalk that's on Daniel Webster to connect to the library. And I made those connections as part of that application. This new sidewalk will connect all of that to all down here. So,
This could even be a series of video. What I think is, what I'm starting to get from this conversation is maybe one video that's just sort of an overview, all-encompassing, where is or what is Merrimack's Town Center, showing that. And then maybe there's a series of short videos that kind of explain these different sections or these different areas. So we kind of break it up by different areas. And maybe it's a series.
parts that we've done.
Yep.
Meeting the town center, because parts of the town center plan have been completed.
And maybe it's a series of videos where, we show an
We're working
overview.
on it.
We write, we script, we produce. These things take time.
yeah.
A series of videos, I don't even want to give a number to it, but let's say it's 6 video, overview and then 6 short videos. And then maybe as a means of driving traffic to the town center Facebook page would be, once they're all produced, once a week roll them out. So every Friday afternoon, there's a new one. And maybe that will help create kind of a buzz, and also that creates consistency so that each week we have a new piece of content.
That
So-
would be great if you had
Like
the,
it.
Yeah.
resources to do that. That takes resources.
And since Bill Cummings likes it, I think we're going to get him on camera.
He's a natural.
Yeah, he's good at that.
He's a natural for
Except
this.
for that hat.
Except for the hat.
It could be worse. Could be a Yankees hat, right? So
It could be. That's the only one that's worse.
You can always blur that out.
Either one's fine with me. No.
But yeah, so I'm gonna make a note of that. I'm gonna talk to Colin and Justin on
Yeah.
Monday, because it'll take more than just myself to do a video
Yeah,
that big.
yeah.
That would be great.
Not to harp on this, but I like the thought of, as part of the video, saying, park your car here, and these are all the different places you can go to.
Yeah, I like that
To
as
kind
well.
of get the thought in people's head that they don't have to drive all around the center of town to
Right.
get the places.
Sure.
Yeah.
The other thing too, you brought it up. Last year, when there were issues at Wildcat Falls, something I noticed that continuously came up during the meetings and in different conversations about Wildcat Falls, they kept saying, well, you can park at the high school, so they don't have to park down the hill. You could park at the high school. And you made this point. People just don't know that. So any information we can put out there that explicitly details, where you can park and where you can walk and where you can go. And then not saying it in a negative light, more of a positive thing. Hey, there's all these great things to do within this town center, and here's how you get access to those places. So even just including in the video, to access Wildcat Falls, park at the high school and walk
As long
in
as
this
it's
direction.
not a school day.
The funny thing about this is, I think there's probably as much walking opportunity, an interesting walking opportunity in the town center as there is in Horse Hill. But you go by Horse Hill, sometimes that parking lot is almost full.
Oh, it is, yeah.
So
definitely, yeah.
people love Horse Hill, and all I'm trying to say is maybe they don't even know what the possibilities are in the town center.
They
Mhm.
don't.
They don't.
Yeah.
They don't. We walk from Huckleberry Lane to Wildcat Falls. It's quite a hike.
How much distance is that?
I don't know, a couple miles maybe, I don't know.
So I'll make notes
They
of
could
this
park
and
at Huckleberry Lane and leave their car there.
That's what we did.
anything we can do to, keep residents better informed and let people know what's available in the community. I mean, that's part of my charge here.
Okay, well, thank you,
Yeah.
thank you, Nicholas. I think we'll all be thinking about that, and if you can bring some more of that to fruition, that would be great, and we'll help any way we can.
Yep.
If you want more details on the maps or whatever, we can get help with that.
And I
You
think
you could do a segment, park at Twin Bridges and walk to Nelson's house.
sure.
Yes, you
Sure.
can. I can walk.
If you're looking for a party, go to the disco household.
Yeah.
Disco Inferno.
Yeah, okay. Let's move along then, and thank you for those ideas. The last thing we wanted to talk about was the Babusik Brook Bridge on Route 3. And I just learned, I was on vacation, but I understand they had a hearing here in town about it. And the public, not DPW, but the DOT had a hearing, and they had a presentation of a concept for the new bridge across the Babusik Brook, along with a temporary bridge that is gonna have some impacts on a few things. But I don't know if any of you got to go to that hearing. I didn't even know about it in time because I was away, and even if I was here, I don't know if I'd have gotten this message. But, Dawn, can you fill us in on that? Is there anything that we missed by not being able to attend that, or,
No.
no?
So, our consultant on that is still working, with the preliminary submittal, to the New Hampshire Department of Safety, Homeland Security, and Emergency Management. We're awaiting their comments and directions. We've also, submitted our Brook grant. We're moving forward for the Brook grant application for more money.
Yeah,
And that's basically where we're
yeah.
at with that.
Okay, I guess I would have, if I were present, I would have argued for more sidewalk. There's a few patches that didn't get included that could have been included.
Well, when you're doing the bridge, there's only a certain area beyond where you can put a sidewalk.
Well, they put it on one side of the street and not the
Not
other.
the other, right?
So, that's, I'd have just argued for that. I don't know if we get it. We didn't get it on, the crossing of, where did we, they denied us. I think it was Wire Road. When the Wire Road, the overpass for the new highway, we argued for sidewalks on both sides there. And it was denied, as far as I know. They're just putting a sidewalk on one side, on Wire Road. See, that matches in with this.
Yes.
Yeah.
Babusik, we got him to do two.
Two on most of it, but,
The two over Babusik, so Babusik will be done, and we're gonna get a sidewalk on both sides.
yes,
Wire was one side.
Yeah.
And Babusik will have the, two-lane bypass around the other side of, so we can keep traffic moving. Wire Road will be a one-way alternating, was the last I knew.
I don't see that on here. This looks like a finished sketch. But, anyway,
Those are over this is over, this is the Route 3 bridge. Okay,
yeah,
yeah, we had done that a while back.
you've done
We had the meeting a little while ago.
4th of August, you said.
No.
That's when the hearing was.
Well,
You might have had meetings.
That was last week.
Yeah,
I didn't go to a meeting last week.
okay.
I did not go to a meeting last week on
Good,
this.
no
I don't think
we didn't do that.
anybody in this
So-
room went last week. That's
I
why I'm
don't-
bringing it up.
I don't know about a meeting last week, and I would have been there. I think I would have been there. I would hope I would be there. No, he doesn't have anything written on that here.
No,
There's nothing.
no.
I don't think there was a meeting last week.
I'll have to find out where I got this. I got this today off of, off of the computer. It says August 4th. Well, anyway. Okay,
Couldn't tell you, but I didn't go to a
TBD.
meeting.
let's go on and talk about the only new business that I had to bring up. I think Nicholas brought up a nice thoughts and some for more work. Is the annual report to the town council, which will be in October. And is there anything we want to put on that that the committee can think of that they'd like to have me include in that report? I'm going to plea for continuing funding. They took the funding out for 2022 in last year's budget. We were going to add the piece of sidewalk on I guess it's Twin Bridge Road, would connect to where you come out of Twin Bridge Road and back up to Route 3. So it'll connect with this project on Route 3 and give a loop connection. And that was the next one on our priority list that we voted a couple years ago. And is see if we can get some money put back in for that. So that's kind of one of the things I was going to put on the agenda for the council. I'm looking for ideas if there's anything else we want to ask for, complain about, or reinforce our desires with the town council. And you got a while to think about it, because you got to think about when is our next meeting. And if we have one toward the end of September, beginning October, we can dress up the presentation for the town council at that time. But if there's any thoughts on that subject from the committee. Bill, hi.
September 24th, it's a Friday?
I guess it is. I don't, yeah.
No, it is.
September 24th is a Friday.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay.
Yes, because the 23rd is town council.
Do we want to say we want to meet on the 24th for our next meeting?
Sure.
Okay. Okay. Anything else anybody'd like to bring up for this meeting?
Nelson, I just think that the project that I was talking about, the kind of all-encompassing overview of what the town center is, and then kind of highlight various locations, I think that would be a good project to have finished, so you can include it in the annual report to the town council.
Okay.
And also,
All
I
right.
kind of like to set deadlines, so I can make sure it can get stuff done. So
Yeah.
things are
Okay, well,
Very
that's
black
a
and white.
deadline to shoot for, because,
just to have
Yeah.
it done, or, you know, at least fully conceptualized and got
Yeah.
the ball rolling, but ideally, I'd like to have it done. Plus, if we're shooting this during the summer months, not that we've had a whole lot of great days, it's been so rainy, but if we're shooting this, you know, end of August throughout the first couple weeks of September and putting it all together, then realistically, we might be able to have it done for October.
yeah, even if you make some good progress on it, we can
Yeah.
report that.
Sure.
So that's good
Yeah,
to
so
put in there.
that's a goal I'm gonna
Yeah.
set for myself.
Yeah. Good. And I'll be looking for something from the school regarding the master plan
Absolutely.
project and so on.
Yes,
For
sir.
that report too. So
Mhm.
I'll be bugging you for information to pass on to the town council.
Very good.
Thank you. If there be no other business that anybody'd like to discuss, I'd entertain a motion to adjourn.
I move, we adjourn.
Second.
Okay. Karen and Bill seconds.
Enjoy the hot day. the rest
It's
of the-
gonna be hot today, but it's gonna cool off later in the week.
So we're adjourned?
Yes, we are adjourned.
Okay.
Did you vote yet?
Oh, we've gotta take a vote.
Gotta take a vote.
Well, okay.
There
All
we
in
go.
favor of adjourning?
Aye.
Aye. Any
Aye.
opposed? Any abstaining?
I gotta go.
None. Thank you, Karen. Thanks for coming. I'm surprised.